I don't want to be involved with it. I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers. It's just not boxing. And I don't think we should promote it as boxing.
Leaked footage from Gervonta Tank. Davis's training camp shows him trading punches with heavyweight-sized sparring partners ahead of his highly anticipated bout with JakePaul. The clips provide a rare glimpse into Davis's preparation, revealing just how seriously he's taking the challenge against a naturally bigger opponent. Stop closing up, let it go, keep turning, step, keep turning. The shouts echo through the gym as Tank pushes, through intense drills with towering sparring partners. These sessions prove he's not intimidated by the size difference. His team specifically arranged these grueling matchups to test his power, resilience, and timing, silencing critics who doubt his ability to handle larger fighters.
Wake up, wake up. 3, 2, 1. You know what is that?
GervontaDavis has been sparring with heavyweights and power punchers to sharpen his strength and precision. These sessions demonstrate his confidence and determination to test himself beyond his own division. Meanwhile, JakePaul has made a career out of picking fights that command attention and stir controversy. Each matchup he chooses offers both advantage and uncertainty, a delicate balance that keeps fans guessing. Whether through differences in weight style or experience, Jake ensures there's always intrigue. His fights are stories of risk and control, carefully engineered to draw the world in. Promoter Eddie Hearn believes this upcoming fight between GervontaDavis and JakePaul crosses a dangerous line. According to him, boxing's essence lies in pure competition, not in theatrical events created for spectacle. Hearn warns that the sport risks losing its foundation when entertainment outweighs fairness. With Jake being naturally larger and Davis coming from lighter divisions focused on speed and technique, he sees the fight as more business performance than sport. For Hearn, this event highlights boxing's growing shift toward profit over professionalism.
The key to having a fight that's exciting is when you look at one corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat, and you look at the other corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat, and they're about to fight. It just feels like JakePaul is always picking fights where he has a massive advantage. Like now he's fighting GervontaDavis, who's, I don't know how much smaller, but probably close to like 80 pounds smaller, which is a crazy, significant weight advantage for JakePaul. Now, you have to also look at the other way. Gervonta has a crazy advantage over JakePaul. He has incredible amount of skill, more years of training. For sure, pound for pound, he would mop the floor with JakePaul. But this is what makes the fight exciting. And two guys fighting, and we don't know who's going to win. Guys, what's the key to having a fight that's exciting? Is when you look at one corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat, and you look at the other corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat, and they're about to fight. Somebody's about to say go, and these guys gotta go at it. So that's what makes a fight exciting. So this is kind of that, because if they were the same weight, none of us would tune in. We'd be like, this is just a punching bag for Gervonta. It doesn't make the fight exciting, but because JakePaul is so big, so much bigger, it makes the fight exciting.
Former champion Paulie Malignaggi takes a more pragmatic stance. He cautions fans not to confuse this with an official boxing match. It's entertainment. There's no betting significance, no ranking implications, and no lasting effect on either fighters. Record Malignaggi compares it to a modern exhibition designed to entertain the masses, not to test the limits of the sport. His honesty reflects what many purists feel, that boxing's identity is drifting from discipline to drama. Yet he acknowledges that this evolution, where showmanship overshadows titles, is simply the business reality of today's boxing world.
He said that there was a chance Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke JakePaul against GervontaDavis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then, but I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and the entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight. You know, with, I don't know, bigger gloves. So, minutes per round, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I understand the market. I understand this freak show, shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated JakePaul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate JakePaul against JakePaul. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to. Now, whether you want to be involved with me is another question. I don't want to be involved with you, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers. It's just not boxing. And I don't think we should promote it as boxing.
In the meantime, then, Eddie, where does that leave you with Anthony Joshua? Are you exploring other options for the end of this year, or are you still looking at that fight for the...
Yeah, no, we're not interested in the JakePaul. We're not going to wait around till November or December, whenever it is, and see how he gets on. I mean, if he gets chinned by GervontaDavis, can't exactly make see Joshua.
Wade Plemons from the Wade Concept describes Jake Paul as a master manipulator who uses fame and ego as psychological weapons. Jake doesn't just fight, he orchestrates. He builds tension, provokes reactions, and turns rivalries into viral events. Wade argues that Jake lured Davis into this matchup using wealth publicity and the promise of massive financial gain, making it impossible for Tank to ignore. For Jake, victory extends beyond the ring. It's about owning the narrative before and after the fight.
When I watch it, I don't. I just think he's fighting opponents that, you know, are not with it anymore or are too small for him and whatnot. In this situation, it is an exhibition. So you've got to keep in mind that this could be set up. It could be like WWE. This one could be set up. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but not a sanctioned fight chance. It's an exhibition. And an exhibition means you cannot bet on it. You cannot bet on the result. If you remember, this is why they changed the Mike Tyson fight from an exhibition to a real fight, because they realized, you know, an exhibition, you could stage it and they couldn't take bets on it. So it's an exhibition. There is no betting on it. So that means, I'm not saying people are going crazy with the opinions who's going to win, who's going to lose. You don't know what size gloves they're going to wear. You don't even know if they're going to stage the whole thing, because this is something that, as an exhibition, it's not illegal to stage it. So I think this could be all kinds of crazy, wacky stuff. This is a bit of a circus, in my opinion.
Who would you think should win that fight? Would you think that Davis should be able to get in there, even though they sized it 100 pounds? Do you think he should be able to do it?
If they don't stage it and don't kind of set up a sort of a mild sparring session, I'd say Davis has a chance. Depends on the size of the glove. Because here's the thing, Jake is probably 100 pounds bigger than the guy. You know, that's a lot of weight, Carl. You know, you've been in a boxing ring, that still counts. And if you make the gloves small, Gervonta could technically hurt Jake even if he hits him. But the problem is, gloves are small. Jake could also hurt Gervonta. Gervonta's so small. Gervonta's so much smaller than him. You know, so if you make the gloves big, and then really, who's got an advantage? I don't know. You know, technically Gervonta's a lot better boxer, but so much smaller. I've stood next to Jake. Jake's a big guy. Like I said, it's a bit of a circus freak show, and that's why I don't put it out of the question that this exhibition could be a big stage in the ring.
Despite all the media spectacle, GervontaDavis remains intensely focused. Sources inside his camp describe a fighter with tunnel vision, calm, disciplined, and determined. His sparring partners have been bigger and stronger, pushing him to adapt and evolve. Observers at press events have noticed his quiet confidence and sharp demeanor. For Davis, this isn't about fame, it's about proving that skill and precision can overcome. Size and spectacle to him, this fight represents a defense of boxing's technical, Purity against the flash and noise of modern showmanship.
Also, and again, Jake's only been boxing for 5, 6, 7 years now. It isn't necessarily far-fetched to try to have his own advantages when trying to fight other boxers that have been far more experienced than him. But this one's a little too much, right? This one is crazy because of the massive weight difference. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, as far as a sport fight is concerned, I want to make sure I make that clear. Again, it's not me hating on it, because I do think that both guys have been very upfront with what they're doing in this fight and what their goals are with these kind of events. But the narrative Jake's trying to create is that this is like proving anything for him fighting a real fighter when Gervonta is so much smaller than he is. It'll prove something in the fact that Jake is willing to put on great events, but it won't prove anything to the people that are asking him to fight a real fighter. I will say though, if Jake goes out flatlines Gervonta, the casual audience that will say Gervonta smokes Jake completely and utterly, like it wouldn't even be close, that will change their minds a little bit. Not the people that know boxing, people that are going to watch this, casual viewers that know the name JakePaul and know the name Jake Paul. If he is to compete with Gervonta at all or look good in that fight, people will in some way accept, or they'll do the other thing where they just say the fight's rigged, which has never been the case, but you get what I'm saying. What Jake is doing is trying to convince a casual audience that he belongs in the ring with bigger names. He's able to hurt Gervonta at all.
The boxing community is divided. Some fans call this fight a disgrace to the sport's integrity, while others see it as a bold evolution that attracts new audiences' supporters. Davis believe this is his moment to expose the difference between an entertainer and a true fighter. Jake Paul's fans, however, argue that he's revitalizing a fading sport by merging athleticism with media power. This clash reflects a generational divide between those who value boxing's tradition and those who embrace its transformation into global entertainment. One thing's certain, Jake Paul has once again made the world talk.
In the press conference, and you can tell, you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's gonna get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games, don't hit him in the back of the head, don't rabbit punch him, don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not gonna have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not caring about the belts and all of that stuff.
The outcome of this fight could shape boxing's future. If Jake Paul wins, it could open the floodgates for influencer versus boxer, events massive spectacles where fame overshadows skill. But if Gervonta Davis triumphs, it could restore faith in the sport's traditional roots, proving that experience and mastery still reign supreme. This fight is more than a contest. It's a statement about what kind of boxing fans want: artistry or entertainment, love him or hate him. Jake Paul brings chaos, unpredictability, and endless attention. Every punch feels dangerous, every round uncertain, and that, ultimately, is why no one can look away.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do now. That's it. You give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they gonna have a field day. And the backlash I understand. Would you say number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, saying he'll never fight Shakur. That he ain't gonna do him no favors. That he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean? That's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game, but you owe Shakur for the game just because of the two style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy. It is kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? If he not gonna fight Shakur, and if he's standing on it like, I'm not ever gonna fight you, I'm not doing you no favors. All right. But then again, you know what? I don't know what them guys got going. I don't know what they've been through personally. You know what I'm saying? But would I love to see that fight? Hell yeah, I would love to see that fight. And then number 3, you said what? You said retirement. The retirement. Oh, boxing. Boxing. They're around. They're around. There's always gloves around. It's on you. It's on you. I'm chilling. You all right? Yeah, get with me. I know. How you feel? Darshan boy, that's my man. The retirement is like he done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate. All right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You're like, why do I have to deal with